You can't see me. I'm invisible. Hey gang, Jeff Stone here with day 25 of the year 2016 at magicreviewed.com. Cody Fisher's killer prediction from Cody Fisher and the Magic Estate.com. Here's the effect. This is an invisible deck presentation, all right? Or you can use Brainwave deck. And just to be clear, because I'm pretty sure that the invisible deck at one time was originally called the Brainwave deck. I think that's what Di Vernon called it. And then later there was the presentation of it being the actual presentation of here's an invisible deck, and go through that. It was later created by, sorry, I don't remember off the top of my head, I apologize. But that presentation is where the phrase invisible deck was coined. So I'm not entirely 100% sure about the specifics of that. If you want to correct me, go ahead and put it in the comments. But anyway, for those of you who know that it at one point, I believe, was called a Brainwave deck, let me clarify what I'm saying right now when I say invisible and Brainwave. Invisible deck is the deck where you show the cards are face up, and the named card is the only reversed card face down in the deck. When I'm saying Brainwave deck, I'm referring to where the deck is face down. Let's say it's a blue back deck, and there's one card face up, and it happens to have a red back. So it's an odd card in the blue back. Or vice versa, it's a red deck, and you spread it, and the one face-up card is the name selection, and it has a blue back. So that's the Brainwave in the context of this review. So moving forward, this is either a Brainwave or an invisible deck routine, whichever one you want to use. You can use either one, and he shows you how to do both. But here's how it goes. You hand the deck out to somebody in the audience. Then you have 3 little balls of paper, 3 different colors in a little mini trash can. And you throw the balls of paper out to the audience, and all 3 of them. And with each ball that gets thrown out, a question is asked to the person who gets the ball. And the questions are things like, what name a color, black or red, and name a suit. If they said black, spades or clubs. And then once you got the suit, you ask somebody name odd or even, or high or low, and eventually you narrow it down to a single playing card, and it truly is a free choice. It just gets a lot of people involved. And then the guy with the deck comes up on stage, you go through it, and you show that the one card they came up with is reversed in the deck. And with the invisible deck handling, you can have the guy holding the deck come up on stage, and he stands behind you, and he looks at what you're seeing while you're holding the deck up in front of the audience. Do I have a deck nearby? I don't. But you're holding the deck fanning so the audience can see the faces. And this guy is standing behind you looking at what you're seeing. But yet he's still able to verify that everything was on the up and up, above the board, as they say. That was the Boris Pocus version without the accent. It was above the board. Anyway, so that's a nice little addition, which will throw people off the trail of invisible deck if they're familiar with it. And yeah, lay people know about it. First time I saw it was from a lay person who happened to buy one. So that's just the invisible deck handling, or the Brainwave, whichever. That's the delivery of it. But then the kicker, which is what Cody Fisher is bringing to the table in this, which is those 3 people that you threw the paper balls out to, you have them stand up, uncrumble their ball of paper, and the first ball of paper says 10, and the second ball of paper says of, the last one says spades, and that would match the card that they freely named. And there's no instant stooging or anything like that. It really is a free selection. You're not making them choose those cards. They don't even know when they get the paper ball there's anything written on it. They don't know that till the end of the trick when it's all over. So, and it's a free choice, and it doesn't matter what card they name, and it'll always work. That's what he's bringing to the table. That's the effect that you're getting, that you're paying $40 for, by the way. Okay, so let's talk about that. So that's the effect. So let me just tell you this: I don't let my opinion of the effect affect the star rating, but I will tell you that when it comes to effect, what does affect the star rating is whether the effect is original or derivative, or how original and how derivative. And this one is, I think, very original, and it's using a method that we'll talk about in a minute that is old as the hills. So it's not like Cody Fisher invented this method, but the concept and the routine all put together is very original, and I would say is very much, on the scale of copycat, the derivative scale of it's an exact copy of something to it's completely 100% original. Nobody's ever heard of it before. It's a brand new invention. He's probably, if that scale goes to 10, he's like, this is like a 6.5, 7. It's nowhere near the copycat side. This is a very original presentation and concept and combining of principles. So, speaking of that, let's talk about the method. First, half of the method, of course, relies on the invisible deck or the brainwave if you're using that. But that aside, the prediction part relies on a concept that is old as the hills, as they say. It's the cliche magic show review show today. It's old, and it's you won't recognize it. Frankly, it fooled me, even though I know the principle, and I don't think there's a full performance of it available other than on the DVD. But when you see it, you will not recognize the principle being used. But then when he teaches it, you're like, oh my gosh, can't believe he fooled me with that awesome idea. And not that, it's such a stupid method that I can't believe I got fooled. It's not that kind of thing. It's just that, wow, how clever he was to do it the way he did it. And he has so many little nuances and little subtleties and stuff that he's added to this technique that it just takes it to a whole new level. And anybody who's familiar with that technique will immediately start throwing that out of their mind as though they couldn't have done that technique because of this, and this. And so it's very smart, very clever method, and it's easy. Performance ability aside, I don't know how good you are on stage or in front of people, but just technical skill, a beginner can do this. Anybody can do this. This is a very, very simple trick. So what is the method? I can't tell you that, but I will tell you it will require a few things. And so you'll need to buy an invisible deck if you don't already own one. Those are about $7.50 a pop, depending on where you buy them. So, and then you'll need, he uses a little trash can with the 3 balls of paper in it. So if you don't have to use that. If you do, I've looked them up and they're like $6. All it is it's a pencil holder. But it looks like a trash can. They're about $6 at staples.com. But you can use like a clear glass or anything, but it needs to be something see-through so they can see the paper balls in there that are in the container. But other than that, it's whatever. So if you're going to buy that, that's $6. Invisible deck, $7.50. Then there's 2 secret things you need. And one of them is the one that you absolutely must have. You have to have this thing to do this trick. It's only $3 at walmart.com. And so that's a pretty cheap expense. The second thing is basically just somewhere to put the first thing. So thing 1 and thing 2, the secret thing 1 and secret thing 2. Secret thing 1, $3. Secret thing 2 is about $9. But if you already have like a case that you work out of in your shows, then you don't need secret thing number 2. And then finally, you'll need the paper, and you need colored paper, and you need 3 different colors. And so you can buy a ream of paper that's 500 sheets, and it's multiple different colors in there, like 4 or 5 different colors. And so let's say there's 5, so there's 100 of each color. You buy that one ream, it's $11, and that'll last you forever. Every show you lose 3 pieces that, because you throw them out in the audience and you don't get them back. And so every show you'll lose 3 pieces, but if you buy a ream of 500 for $11, you got, that's a lot of performances. So if you want to put all of this stuff together and buy all of that stuff, including the little trash can, the invisible deck, all of that stuff, the 2 secret things that you need, and all that would cost about $40, including taxes. So that's $40 plus $40. So it's $80 to do this routine. Now, when we get to the ad copy integrity in a second, I'll talk about a way that it's not quite that expensive. Okay, but generally you're going to have to spend some time. It's a one-time expense other than the paper that gets used up each performance, but again, that's going to last you forever. But everything else, it's a one-time expense. So if you don't mind that, the method, again, solid, super easy, super smart, easy to do. Okay, ad copy integrity, totally good. There's no issues whatsoever about it. And one of the claims they make is that this is right out of his corporate act and that he's been doing it for years. And I can't prove that, obviously, but by watching him, I just know. Yeah, this guy's been doing this forever, and he's worked out all the kinks, and he talks about it on the DVD, some of the problems he's dealt with and how he overcame them and how it got to where it's at the point that it is. So the ad copy also says, though, it even warns you that you'll need to buy an invisible deck, which I thought was really good. I appreciate that they came out and said that rather than you having to discover that on your own. So they tell you that, and then they say there's one other thing you'll need to buy that's about $10. Well, if the one other thing you need to buy is the thing that I mentioned a minute ago, secret thing number 1, and it's only $3. So that's good. You don't have to buy the garbage can. You can just use anything clear, like I said, a little clear glass. And then thing number 2, you don't necessarily have to buy if you already have like a case you work out of. So that I'd say that's a fair thing to say, that you need to buy one other thing, even though you maybe need to buy 2, and you could throw the paper in there. And so I don't think it was a matter of dishonesty. I think if anything, it was the other way around, where they're being very honest. They're saying you're going to need to buy an invisible deck, and you're going to need to spend maybe $10 more on top of that. So if you already have an invisible deck, then you only need $10 more, because this, and maybe not even that much. If you already have a case, you already have an invisible deck, and you don't necessarily care to have the trash can, all you need is that secret thing number 1. That's only $3. So then your expenses for this whole trick is only $3 plus some paper. And so then it's that plus the price of the DVD. Okay, so hopefully that makes some sense. One last thing before we talk about product quality, I forgot to mention during the method, is that this has some performance limitations. Not much, but it's not something for strolling. You can't do this table hopping or anything like that. This is for, he says 20 or more people in the audience. I think you could probably get away with 10, maybe 15. So 10, 15. But you need a crowd. Not like a few people. You need a crowd of people. And they can be surrounded with the particular one of the methods he talks about. They can be surrounded. As long as you have about a 3 to 4 foot distance between you and your audience, you can do this trick. And again, you need a crowd of people. This is the kind of thing that's meant to play for a crowd. So if you're a strolling person, or you're just doing casual stuff in the school cafeteria, that kind of stuff, you can't do this trick. If you have, however, a set show or a parlor show, or even like somebody's living room or something like that, those kinds of things, as long as there's about 10 people, then this works great. So, product quality, awesome. I mean, again, really, really well done. One of the things I really like about Cody Fisher DVDs is he always has the pro tips section, and the pro tips section is that. It's like, look, I made this mistake during performance once. Let me tell you, that's why I do it this way now, and here's how this came about, and here's how that came about, and blah blah blah. And it's clear that the guy, even his rope DVD, 3 ropes and 1,000 laughs, which I gave relatively low score, like 3 or 3.5 stars, because it was very derivative and it wasn't anything that original. But I still, even on that, there were some pro tips about handling the ropes for Professor's Nightmare that were very valuable. So all of his products I've ever seen and reviewed, that's been the case. He teaches it very well. It's shot well. I mean, the Magic Estate, they always do a good job of shooting, lighting, all that good stuff. So product quality, solid. There was a funny moment during the explanation where Cody Fisher screwed up, and then so the camera guy shook the camera, which is one technique that people use to jar the movement of the camera. so that when you're going through the editing, you'll notice that and you'll know, oh, I need to do some editing right there. And so they jarred the camera, and then the camera guy told him to redo the take, and then he screwed it up again and he redo it. But they never edited it out, so they just have him doing 3 takes right in a row. It's just kind of funny. I don't let that hit the product quality, but I just thought it was funny. Anyway, so I think I've rambled on long enough. 4.5 stars. Oh, you know what? There's one other thing I should mention. Sorry, but it is still 4.5 stars. The only thing that I try not to let the existence of other products impact the review rating of any given product. But I still don't think I did let this impact this review. But Jay Sankey put out a product called Invisible. It's a DVD, and it's 2 hours long, and it comes with an invisible deck, and it's the most comprehensive study of the invisible deck, like effects you can do with it, methods for revealing it, presentational ideas, on and on and on. Just tons and tons, a buttload of material. 2 hours worth of material. Comes with the deck. It's a very thorough thing. It's only $20. So this, on the other hand, it's one trick. It's a 50-minute DVD, 50. It does not come with anything, no deck, no nothing, and it's $40. I get, Cody Fisher's time and effort in perfecting this, and the fact that it's coming right out of his repertoire. That's worth something. I understand that. And I even understand the idea of, that's why the mother of all book tests costs $350. Because not everybody will buy it, and so not everybody's doing it, and it becomes sort of a higher barrier to entry. And I get it. And I paid the $350 for it, and I use it, and it's worth it to me. So I understand that. I'm not opposed to having higher priced products. But it's just one of those things where I'm kind of on the fence about the pricing on this one, that's all. But it's really up to you. You know everything you need to know now to make a decision. If you like this routine, then it's worth it. And if you'll do it in your act, then it's worth it. 4.5 stars. Stone Status of Jim. Time for you to like the video, subscribe to my channel, listen to the random iTunes song of the moment, which is, speaking of the moment, this is The Moment I Knew by Taylor Swift. And this is a sad song. Very, very depressing, but awesome because it's Taylor Swift. She's awesome. Anyway, tune in tomorrow, day 26. 26 days, guys. We're looking at Wayne Fox's tab test, day 26. Until then, folks, thanks for watching, and I really do mean that. Thank you for watching, and peace out.